Hello everyone, bonjour tout le monde. I hope you are keeping well and staying safe. Canada's prosperity is a result of the rich and diverse multicultural society found within it. And while we believe that diversity is one of our greatest strengths, we know that there is still a lot of work left to be done. Le racisme systémique demeure une réalité au Canada. Nous le savons. Nous savons aussi que la pandémie de COVID-19 a révélé et même accentué des inégalités qui existent. With Canada's anti-racism strategy under the leadership of Prime Minister Justin Trudeau, the Government of Canada is fully committed to combating all forms of racism and discrimination wherever and whenever they occur. We're also committed to working with racialized communities, religious minorities, and Indigenous peoples to address systemic inequalities. That's why when we introduced the anti-racism strategy in July 2019, we also committed $15 million for a new anti-racism action program. Through this, we are supporting community-based organizations, the organizations that are in the best position to truly know, understand, and effectively address the unique situations faced by those they serve. This includes two great organizations in the North. Votre gouvernement va travailler auprès de chacun et chacune de vous afin que les décisions reflètent les expériences vécues. Because we all need to work together to continue to build a better and safer and consciously more inclusive Canada. Thank you. Merci.
Hello, bonjour. As Minister Chagger has said, our government is committed to empowering organizations from coast to coast to coast who have expertise in addressing all forms of racism and discrimination. That's why I'm excited to join her and Minister Vandal to announce that through the new Anti-Racism Action Program, two Yukon organizations are receiving funding to support their projects. The Yukon Circle of Change Society will receive $44,000 to deliver their Reconciliation Through Restorative Practices community program, a project that will utilize restorative justice practices and the delivery of peace-building workshops to address systemic barriers associated with the justice system and social participation in the community. Kwanlin First Nation, KDFN, will receive $165,000 to deliver Justice Through Healing, a pilot project that will build awareness of the extensive impact of racialized structures and processes in the justice system, and to create the capacity to respond to racism through culturally relevant services for the KDFN in Whitehorse, Yukon. The funding for these projects is crucial in supporting initiatives aimed at addressing barriers to employment, justice, and social participation among Indigenous peoples, racialized communities, and religious minorities. Merci, thank you, Masi Cho, Kunischi, Suga Sinma.
Kwe, hello, bonjour. Thank you, Bardish, for announcing support for these two great projects in the North. I echo Larry when I say how crucial this funding will be in supporting the Kwanlin Dun First Nations Justice Through Healing project and the Yukon Circle of Social Change Society's Reconciliation Through Restorative Practices community program. Both of these projects will work to address the disproportionate number of Indigenous people impacted by the criminal justice system, remove systemic barriers, and increase equitable social participation in our communities. Our government stands with all Canadians in saying that racism and discrimination have no place in Canada. Working together, we will build a better, a safer, and a more inclusive society for Indigenous and Northern communities, as well for all Canadians everywhere. Shonithan, Gunishchish, Masi, thank you, merci.
Bonjour, hello. My name is Christine Clausen Saint-Pierre from the Yukon Circle of Change, and we are so grateful for your support of our Restorative Practices community project. This funding will help us do our peace-building workshops in the high schools across the Yukon and our community workshops with those same students' parents, teachers, neighborhood members, elected officials, RCMP officers, counselors, and community members. It will also help us train facilitators and facilitate listening circles, healing circles, and restorative conferences when harm has been done, prioritizing connection over separation and accountability over punishment. We know that hurting people just keep hurting people, but healing people heal people. We also know that we are the heroes we've been waiting for. So thank you for believing in us so we can do this important work.
Hello, Dunjay. My name is Doris Bill, and I am Chief of the Kwanlin First Nation. We are a self-governing Northern First Nation, and our traditional territory is in and extends beyond the city limits of Whitehorse, Yukon. Racism and discrimination have deep roots in Canada's justice system, and that means it's not always a just system. It has created inequities in how our citizens are treated, how they're processed through the system, and in their outcomes. That's why our government is pleased to receive funding to help present our pilot project called Justice Through Healing. Through this program, we'll lay a foundation for our government, our community, and the justice system to work together to foster better outcomes for our citizens. We will create one new position within our First Nation to help our citizens work through systemic barriers, access culturally relevant services, and reconcile past and present injustices. This is one more step towards equality, equity, and healing. We look forward to many more outcomes. Shonithan Gunaschis Masicho, and thank you.